There are such reports, but we would prefer to use rather than the figures. Of course, that would be said to be self-serving. But we would like to, so that is why we would like the different government entities to provide us with the figures so that we can make that assessment. Is there no way that we can actually track the consumption levels? And I would be interested to see not only the difference between the consumption of Virginia and Burley, but also on the demographic side, because the worry in terms of health are the younger smokers. And there is some material that would seem to suggest that the shift has been, in fact, to younger smokers. I know, Secretary, you're being careful, and rightly so, because even for your own purposes, again, I will harken back to the debate that we had on the floor. And every time we would talk about revenue, the answer would come back from the proponents of the bill that this is a health measure. How do we determine the success or otherwise of this measure if we do not have those figures? Now, I understand that speaking from as a medical practitioner, you look at it from the incidence of disease. And again, that's perfectly understandable. But in terms of consumption, I think is the key element, because if failing the downstream effects of this bill, being unable at this short term to be able to determine that, at the very least, maybe it's a rough and ready figure, but it is something that we could use. Did the consumption decrease or did it not? Now, I was trying from the NTA to gain some kind of idea as to what had happened in terms of production. The production has in fact increased. So I do not know how it translates in terms of health effects because, again, we cannot seem to pin down the figures on the changes in consumption patterns. When I say consumption patterns, not just simply the actual level of consumption, but also as to the demographics of that consumption.